The evening had enveloped the city with its cold, gray glow. Jude walked out of the garage, his thoughts still on Cornelius. That tear, that slam on the workbench, something the old man didn't dare say out loud, something he had to follow. His feet led him naturally to a familiar place, Sophia Street. It was a narrow street, lit by old lanterns that cast their light laboriously over the half-broken sidewalks. The shops were closed. Only a few bars and cheap hotels were still lit. People walked past each other, eyes on the ground, stepping quickly, as if no one really wanted to look. Sophia stood on the other side. Her coat was pulled tight against her cold wind. Her dark hair fell halfway over her face. When she saw Jude, she froze for a moment, but then crossed the street. "Jude," she said softly. He stopped, his heart pounding with frustration and fear. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "I am looking for answers," he said. His voice sounded louder than intended. Sophia sighed, her breath visible in the cold air. "I don't have that either," she said. Jude looked at the street, at the dim lights and the shadows. "You know this world better than anyone," he said, his voice softening, almost pleading. "If someone were to kidnap a child, you would hear it." She looked at him for a few seconds. Then she shook her head. "I haven't heard anything." Jude felt frustration creeping up. "No one knows anything," he said, his voice trembling. "No one sees anything. But my daughter has disappeared." A man walked past, cast a brief glance, and walked on quickly. Sophia stepped closer. "Calm down," she said softly. "How can I be calm?" asked Jude, eyes wide with despair. She gently placed a hand on his arm. "I understand," she said. He wanted to say something, but the words got stuck. Sophia looked at the ground, her gaze sharpening on the shadows of the street. "The streets talk," she said softly. "Always." Jude looked at her hopefully. "But not right away," she said. "Sometimes it takes a while before someone dares to say something." "And what if someone does know?" he asked. Sophia was silent, her eyes scanning the dark corners of the street. "Then it is possible that that person is afraid." "Afraid of what?" She looked him straight in the eye. "For the one who did it." The wind blew through the street and made a neon light flicker. Jude felt the fear rising again, sharp and cold. "So maybe someone knows something." Sophia nodded slowly. "Maybe." Jude looked at her intently. "And you?" Her gaze remained fixed on him. "If I hear anything," she said softly, "you will be the first to know." They stood still for a moment. Then she took her hand off his arm. "But Jude," she began. He looked up, his body tense. "Watch out," he said. "Why?" she asked, her gaze over her shoulder, checking if anyone was keeping an eye on the street. "These kinds of people," she hesitated for a moment, "aren't playing games." Jude sighed, eyes fixed on her. "For me, it is not a game," he said resolutely. She nodded slowly. "I know." Sophia turned around and stepped back into the shadow of the sidewalk. Jude stood there for a moment, his gaze fixed on the empty street. Then he turned around and walked away. But one thought lingered in his mind as he walked out of the street. If the streets talk, then maybe someone is listening too.